Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to bring you the most essential insights from today's most important reports and research. Today, we're plunging into a fascinating, frankly baffling paradox at the heart of generative AI. Everywhere you look, companies are adopting it, yet for many, well, it's barely moved the needle on their bottom line. We've been handed this comprehensive report from McKinsey titled Seizing the Agentic AI Advantage, and it proposes a powerful solution: AI agents. So our mission for you, our listener, is to really understand why so many companies are hitting this wall with their Gen AI investments, and maybe more importantly, how these next-gen AI agents aren't just an upgrade, but a fundamental shift set to transform, well, everything from daily tasks to entire business models.
Yeah, what's really fascinating here, I think, is how this report gets right to the core of why Gen AI has felt like it's just lingering at the edges of actual business impact,
Yeah.
despite being in every boardroom conversation. It really highlights a critical mindset shift that's needed for AI to become a true catalyst for transformation, not just some flashy new tool you plug in.
That's the Gen AI paradox right there, isn't it? It's like having a supercar in the garage, but, you're still taking the bus to work. What's actually going on? So, okay, the report kicks off by stating that nearly 8 in 10 companies are currently using Gen AI. That's massive adoption.
Huge.
Yet, almost just as many report no significant bottom line impact. That, to me, is a huge disconnect.
It absolutely is. And what our analysis of this report shows is a key imbalance in how companies are approaching Gen AI.
Yeah.
See, most have focused on what the report calls horizontal use cases.
Okay.
Think enterprise-wide copilots for drafting emails or, chat bots for basic customer service queries.
The easy stuff, maybe.
Kind of. They're easy to scale quickly, right?
Yeah.
Like nearly 70% of Fortune 500 companies using Microsoft 365 Copilot. But the gains they deliver are often diffuse, sort of spread across many employees, and frankly, incredibly hard to measure directly in terms of ROI.
Got it. And then there are the vertical use cases, right? The ones that are far more specific.
Exactly. Specific to a particular function or industry, and these seem to have much higher potential for direct economic impact. Real, measurable value.
Okay, so why aren't they taking off?
Well, here's a rub. Roughly 90% of these more transformative vertical use cases, they remain stuck in pilot mode.
90%. Wow.
This is where the real value often lies, yet companies are struggling, really struggling, to move them from just experimentation to widespread implementation.
What are some of those critical roadblocks? Because for you, listen right now, maybe these insights could perfectly explain why your own organization might be experiencing this exact paradox.
Right. Based on the report, several factors consistently crop up. One of the biggest is fragmented initiatives.
Fragmented? How so?
We see these AI projects often just bubbling up from individual teams, leading to this patchwork of disconnected micro-initiatives and dispersed investments. Get this, fewer than 30% of companies even have their CEO directly sponsoring their AI agenda.
Really? Only 30%?
Yeah, which tells you how uncoordinated things can be right at the top.
So no overarching strategy, just a lot of scattered attempts. Makes sense.
Precisely. Another major barrier is the lack of mature packaged solutions for these specialized vertical cases.
Ah, so you can't just buy it off the shelf.
Right. Companies often have to build from scratch using tech that's still evolving. And this ties into a crucial shortage of MLOps engineers.
MLOps.
Yeah, these are the specialized experts who take these experimental AI models and actually make them robust, scalable, and reliable enough for real-world business use.
Okay.
Without them, it's really hard to move beyond that pilot stage.
And what about the tech itself? Are the first-gen LLMs part of the problem too?
Absolutely. The report highlights some inherent technological limitations of first-generation LLMs. They can produce inaccurate outputs.
Hallucinations, right?
Exactly, hallucinations, which makes them difficult to trust in critical applications. Plus, they're fundamentally passive.
Passive.
They don't act unless prompted. They just wait for you. That limits their autonomy. They also struggle with complex, multi-step workflows and often have limited persistent memory. They forget context easily.
Okay, so while that first wave of Gen AI wasn't exactly a waste,
No, not at all.
it helped everyone get familiar with the tech, build capabilities like prompt engineering.
Yeah, laid the groundwork.
It really just laid the groundwork for something far more potent. And this is where it gets truly transformative, right, with these agents. So the report describes AI agents as the breakthrough. Moving Gen AI from just a reactive tool, something you prompt, to a proactive, goal-driven virtual collaborator. What exactly makes them so fundamentally different from the LLMs we've all been hearing so much about?
Okay, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Agents are a major evolutionary leap. Think of it this way. An LLM is like a powerful brain. It can understand and generate language really well.
Okay.
An AI agent, it's that brain, plus arms and legs, memory, and crucially, a plan.
Ah, so it can do things.
Exactly. They combine LLMs with additional components for memory, planning, orchestration, and integration with other systems. This allows them to understand a high-level goal, break it down into subtasks, interact with humans and other systems, execute actions, and adapt in real time, all with minimal human intervention.
Wow.
They're not just waiting for your next prompt. They can proactively monitor things, trigger workflows, follow up autonomously. It's a different league.
So they can automate entire complex business workflows, especially in that vertical realm we discussed, which was previously kind of out of reach for simpler Gen AI tools.
Precisely.
What kind of tangible impact does this have on how operations actually run, like day to day?
Well, agents can genuinely transform processes in 5 significant ways, delivering far more than just basic efficiency. First, accelerated execution. They eliminate delays, enable parallel processing of tasks. Things just happen faster.
Okay.
Then, incredible adaptability. They can adjust process flows on the fly by continuously ingesting new data.
So they learn and change.
Constantly. We also see deep personalization, where they can tailor interactions and decisions down to individual profiles. Agents also provide elasticity. They can expand or contract execution capacity in real time based on workload. Need more power. They scale up, less. They scale down.
Like cloud computing, but for tasks.
Sort of, yeah. And finally, resilience. They monitor for disruptions and can automatically reroute operations to keep processes running smoothly, even when, things go wrong.
And it's not just about doing things faster or more efficiently, right? The report says agents can supercharge operational agility and, crucially, unlock entirely new revenue opportunities. How does that leap from efficiency to new revenue actually happen?
Great question. So they can amplify existing revenues. For example, in e-commerce, imagine an agent proactively analyzing user behavior in real time to surface highly relevant upselling and cross-selling offers. An agent constantly optimizing your online store, basically.
Right, making it smarter.
But then they can also create entirely new revenue streams. Think about industrial companies. Agents embedded in connected products could monitor usage.
Like in a machine?
Exactly. And autonomously unlock premium features or trigger predictive maintenance. This enables new pay-per-use or subscription models.
Ah, I see.
Or think about service organizations. They could encapsulate their internal expertise into specialized AI agents and then offer those agents as a software as a service to other businesses. It's about productizing intelligence.
That's fascinating. And the report provides some really compelling case studies, doesn't it? Showing this isn't some far-off science fiction.
Absolutely. These are real-world scenarios happening now.
Give us a few examples that truly illustrate this impact.
Okay, sure. Consider a large bank that needed to tackle legacy application modernization, a huge headache for banks.
Definitely.
They used what they called hybrid digital factories, where human supervisors oversaw squads of AI agents. These agents actually retroactively documented old legacy applications, wrote and reviewed new code, and even integrated it for testing.
The agents wrote code.
Yes, and reviewed it. The result, a 50% reduction in time and effort for the early adopter teams. That's monumental for something that usually takes years and huge budgets.
50%?
Yeah.
That's a huge win in a notoriously difficult area. Okay, what else?
Another fascinating one. A market research firm focused on boosting data quality. They had over 500 people manually ensuring data quality.
Wow, 500 people.
And still, 80% of errors were only identified by clients after delivery. Not ideal.
No.
They implemented a multi-agent solution. It autonomously identified anomalies and even explained market shifts by analyzing internal and external signals. The projected impact: a 60% potential productivity gain and expected savings of over $3 million annually. That's the kind of direct bottom-line impact we're talking about.
That's a game changer for a data-intensive business like that. Okay, and one more.
Sure. A retail bank reimagined credit risk memos. These complex reports relationship managers create.
Yeah, sounds time-consuming.
Weeks, apparently. Manually creating these memos, reviewing like 10 different data sources. Now, AI agents assist. They extract data, draft memo sections, generate confidence scores for data points, and even suggest follow-up questions for the human manager.
So human-agent collaboration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this has already shown a potential 20 to 60% increase in productivity, including a 30% improvement in credit turnaround time. These are not marginal gains, you see.
No, definitely not. So what does this all mean for how we should be approaching AI in our organizations? The report's really clear, isn't it? Maximizing value requires complete process reinvention,
Yes.
not just inserting agents into the old ways of doing things.
This really raises an important question, right? What's the fundamental difference? Because when agents are simply plugged into an existing process, okay, they might act as faster assistants, things get a bit quicker.
And marginal improvement.
Yeah, but the overall process, it stays sequential, it stays human constrained. True reinvention, though, means completely re-architecting the entire task flow from the ground up. It involves reordering steps, strategically reallocating responsibilities between humans and agents, like who does what best, and designing the process specifically to exploit agent strengths.
Like that parallel execution you mentioned.
Exactly. Parallel execution, real-time adaptability, things humans aren't great at, frankly.
The call center example in the report perfectly illustrates this spectrum of impact, doesn't it?
It really does. So if a call center just uses GenAI to maybe assist human agents with scripts,
Okay, basic stuff.
they see modest improvements, typically a 5 to 10% reduction in resolution time. Okay, fine. If they optimize a bit more, maybe have agents automate discrete tasks, like pulling up customer history automatically, that jumps to a 20 to 40% reduction. Better.
Much better.
But if they truly reinvent the entire process around agent autonomy.
Okay, here's the big leap.
Yeah. Where agents proactively detect problems, diagnose them, even initiate resolutions without human prompting, they can achieve a staggering 60 to 90% reduction in resolution time.
60 to 90.
And autonomously resolve up to 80% of common incidents. That's not just an improvement, that's a fundamental transformation of how that call center operates. It's a different business.
That sounds like it requires a whole new way to build and manage these AI systems, though. The report talks about something called the Agentic AI mesh. Tell us more about that concept.
That's right, because, to scale these agents effectively and safely, companies face new risks.
Like
Uncontrolled autonomy, agents going rogue, basically, and agent sprawl.
Agent sprawl.
Yeah, imagine just a chaotic explosion of untracked, unmanaged AI applications all over the place.
Sounds messy.
Very. So companies need to blend custom and off-the-shelf agents while staying agile. The Agentic AI mesh is proposed as this new architectural paradigm. Think of it as composable, distributed, and vendor-agnostic.
Okay, break that down. Composable.
Composability means any agent, any tool, any LLM can be easily plugged in, swapped out, or reused, like Lego bricks.
Got it. Distributed.
Distributed intelligence. Complex tasks aren't solved by one giant super agent, but by networks of smaller specialized agents cooperating.
Okay, teamwork makes the dream work for AI.
Kind of, yeah. Then there's layered decoupling. This separates functions like logic, memory, orchestration, and the interface. Makes the whole system more modular, easier to update, more resilient.
Makes sense. Vendor agnostic.
Vendor neutrality, super important. Allows components to be updated or replaced independently. You're not locked into one provider. It uses open standards like MCP,
MCT.
Model Context Protocol. It lets different AI models understand and share context. And A2A,
A2A.
agent to agent communication, enables these agents to talk and collaborate seamlessly.
Okay. And the last one?
Govern autonomy. This is crucial. Agent behavior is controlled via embedded policies and clear escalation mechanisms, so they don't run wild.
Right. Guardrails. And this mesh has, what, 7 interconnected capabilities for operating safely and efficiently?
That's right. And it fundamentally changes what's required from the underlying LLMs themselves.
Oh, well, they need to move beyond being just passive copilots. They need to be built for these autonomous, persistent systems. For example, LLMs need incredibly low latency inference for that real-time responsiveness when they're acting autonomously. Can't have lag.
Makes sense.
And they absolutely must support robust fine-tuning and controllability for domain-specific agents, especially vital in highly regulated industries like finance or healthcare, where precision is paramount.
The report also mentions that the big enterprise systems themselves are evolving towards an agent-first model, right? Like Microsoft embedding agents in Dynamics 365, Salesforce expanding Agentforce.
Yes, exactly. This signals a deep fundamental shift in how software itself will be built and how it will interact with us in the future. It's not just an add-on anymore.
It sounds like a massive technological and architectural shift, absolutely. But the report really stresses that the main challenge won't be technical. It will be human. What's fascinating here is how it highlights the immense organizational complexity that comes with agent scaling across the enterprise. Yeah, this raises a really important question. How will humans and agents genuinely cohabit? In day-to-day workflows, it's all about building trust, ensuring transparency, and clearly defining when an agent takes the initiative versus when it absolutely must defer to a human. That line is critical.
And getting that line wrong could be bad.
Very bad. Then there's the critical issue of autonomy control. Managing those edge cases, ensuring agents don't act too aggressively, or maybe even worse, that they fail to escalate subtle but important issues. Especially since they can still produce those plausible but inaccurate outputs, the hallucinations we mentioned.
Right. Plausible but wrong is dangerous. And the risk of agent sprawl, that uncontrolled proliferation of redundant or ungoverned agents, that sounds like a recipe for chaos.
It is.
It's the next generation of shadow IT, isn't it?
It's absolutely real risk, yes. Without structured governance and clear design standards, these agent ecosystems can quickly become incredibly fragile, inefficient, and potentially even dangerous. Imagine like a dozen different agents all trying to optimize the same supply chain process in slightly different conflicting ways. Nightmare.
Yeah, total mess. So what does this mean for leadership then? The report declares this an AI transformation at a tipping point and gives a very clear CEO mandate. Sounds serious.
It is serious. To truly scale impact in this new agentic era, the report argues organizations must fundamentally reset their AI transformation approach across 4 critical dimensions.
Okay, what are they?
First, strategy. Moving from those scattered, fragmented initiatives we talked about earlier.
Right, the bottom-up stuff.
To truly strategic programs directly aligned with critical business priorities. Leaders need to be asking how agents can reinvent entire segments of the business, not just tweak individual tasks.
Okay, bigger picture thinking.
Second, the unit of transformation. Shifting from merely optimizing isolated use cases to reinventing entire business processes end to end. The question needs to become, what would this entire function, say, finance or HR, look like if agents ran 60% of it?
Wow, that's a huge shift in perspective right there. That's transformational thinking.
It is. Third, the delivery model. Transitioning from siloed AI teams, often stuck in an R&D corner, to cross-functional transformation squads. These bring together business experts, process designers, AI engineers, data scientists, change managers, everyone working as one integrated unit.
Breaking down the silos. And fourth.
And finally, the implementation process. Moving from just experimentation, endless pilots.
The pilot purgatory.
Exactly. Moving from that to industrialized, scalable delivery. This means designing solutions to scale both technically and financially from the start. And remembering that for GenAI, those recurring operational costs of compute power, the monitoring can often exceed the initial build investment. You have to plan for that.
That's a massive shift in mindset for leaders across the board. And to make this actually happen, the report identifies 4 critical enablers. Which of those do you think is the toughest nut for organizations to crack?
Oh, that's a challenging question.
Yeah.
They're all pretty critical, know. But if I had to pick one that might be the toughest, maybe strengthening governance.
Why governance?
Because it requires not just new tech or processes, but genuinely new ways of thinking about control, risk, autonomy, and trust. That's deep cultural change. But generally, the report says organizations need to. First, equip the workforce. Foster that human plus agent mindset. Introduce new roles, prompt engineers, human-in-the-loop designers, agent trainers.
Good upskilling.
Then, strengthen governance. Define those clear frameworks for agent autonomy levels, decision boundaries, have robust monitoring to prevent that agent sprawl.
Got it.
Third, adapt technology architecture. Evolve towards that agentic AI mesh we discussed. Prepare for those agent-first enterprise systems.
The plumbing needs to change.
Exactly. And lastly, accelerate data productization. Transition to reusable data products, make data easily accessible and trustworthy, and extend governance to unstructured data emails, documents, images, because that's where a lot of an agent's insights will come from.
And the final word from the report, it seems, is pretty unequivocal. This pivot cannot be delegated. It must be initiated and led by the CEO.
Yes.
They need to basically say, okay, experimentation phase is over, redesign the entire AI governance structure, and launch significant lighthouse transformation projects. It really sounds like a call to arms for the C-suite.
It absolutely is. This report paints a really vivid picture of a true strategic inflection point. It's one of those moments. Like any truly disruptive technology, AI agents have the power to completely reshuffle the deck. They offer laggards a genuine leapfrog opportunity.
A chance to catch up or even get ahead.
Exactly. And conversely, they risk the decline of today's market leaders if those leaders don't seize this moment and adapt. Complacency could be fatal.
So it's clear that the time for just exploring and tinkering is ending. The time for real transformation is now. For you, our listener, maybe think about this. If AI agents are truly the foundation of the next generation operating model, how might this change the very structure of decision making, of work itself within your own industry or your own organization? Where do you even begin to spot those reinvention opportunities? That's the big question, isn't it?